Hi, boys and girls. We're going to be reading the story Officer Buckle and Gloria. Actually, you're going to be reading that story by yourselves on Think Central. And as you read, you're going to be stopping and thinking about these important key things. So, our essential question is, why is it important to follow safety rules? Now that you thought about it for a minute, let's go on. Okay, before we start to get into our story, we have to set a purpose for reading. So what is going to be our purpose for reading today? Well, let me think and predict what I think will happen in the story. I think this story might be about an officer and maybe their trusty sidekick, which is a dog named Gloria. I'll have to read more to find out, but that's what I'm thinking it might be about. And because our essential question is, why is it important to follow safety rules? Maybe the officer and the dog are going to tell us all about safety rules. Now, back to setting a purpose for learning and reading. Good readers think ahead and think about the purpose for reading. They think about the title and the selection and what they see as they preview the story. And that helps them to think about what the story is going to be about. Ooh, I like to read funny books, and it looks as if the dog does some amazing and funny things. I will read it for fun, and I will try to find out what Gloria and Officer Buckle do together. Okay, as I think through the text on page 508, I'm thinking that it looks like the officer is placing a thumbtack with maybe a safety tip number 77 on the board. It doesn't look like he's following his own safety rules, though. What is the problem with Officer Buckle in this story that you've seen so far? Yes, the students aren't listening. Nobody's listening to his safety rules. And they continue to do things that are unsafe. Just look at this picture. No one pays attention. Poor Officer Buckle. Hey, let's think through this. I wonder why the author writes the children's eyes popped. Oh, that must mean that the children are so surprised. I think the picture gives us a clue that the children are very surprised. Take a look. So we see that this story talks about cause and effect. What do the children do when Gloria acts out Officer Buckle's safety tips? So cause is the why something happens. And then the effect is what happens. So because the dog, Gloria, acts out the Officer Buckle's tips, and he's kind of silly. What happens? What is the effect? Oh, I know, the children laugh and they get silly. That will explain all of the mail that's been coming in from the Knapville school to the Knapville Police Department. That surely explains it. So, as we can see, Officer Buckle and Gloria are still going around doing their shows. And then we realize that someone videotapes. And the children are like, bravo, bravo. They really love the safety tips. But later that day, Officer Buckle gets a chance to see why Gloria is such a great dog to have at the Natville school, and why the children think Officer Buckle's speeches are more interesting. And they don't have anything to do with Officer Buckle. So, as you can see, the effect on what happened, because Officer Buckle finds that out, and someone else from the police station gives Gloria a ride, and Gloria's all by herself, the presentation or the speeches just aren't that interesting anymore. And as a result, a lot of bad things happen. Okay, let's think about this again, boys and girls. Now, there's been a lot of chain of events, lots of accidents happening. We can see in the pictures as well as in the words. Do you think those would be funny in real life? No, those accidents certainly would not be funny because people would get hurt. So this is a humorous fiction story. The author makes light of some of the funny things that happen by using serious issues of safety. These aren't things that could really happen because people could get seriously hurt if they did. But the author is using a technique called humorous fiction. We know that from the picture, when a hammer falls on someone's head, they would get hurt and they wouldn't really go stumbling in a laughing sort of way. And it looks like all is well. And safety tip number 101, stick with your buddy is important. Thank you for listening as we dig a little deeper. Now, I want you to think about cause and effect and analyze the text so you can learn it and understand it better. You're going to have some activities that you will have an opportunity to choose cause and effect. Good luck.